and welcome to Daily Newspaper Analysis, which is brought to you by LawSeco. So let's discuss the newspaper articles for today, and a great apology from our end as the newspaper analysis could not be uploaded with a great regularity in the previous week. There were some reasons regarding that, so kindly pardon us for the same. But they'll be all available now with this week. So let's see what are the two articles that we will be discussing today. The first one is from the Hindu newspaper, which is titled as The Judicial Role in Improving Lawmaking. So basically this article discusses as to how judiciary can ensure that better lawmaking process can be evolved in the country, and how through that better laws or more affirmed laws can be brought up in the nation. The second article is from the Indian Express, which is titled as The Nutrition-hygiene link. So this, as the name itself is suggesting, it talks about the important link or the important relationship that lies between the nutrition as well as the hygiene. So this newspaper analysis is presented by me. My name is Sheva Khan. I am a law graduate and I had completed my law degree from Uttaranchal University with a gold medal in my batch. I also have been a public speaker and national debater, and here at LawSeco I'm working as the manager for current affairs vertical. If you wish to connect with me, you can find me on my Twitter and LinkedIn handles. The links to both are available in the description box below. Let's see what is the multiple choice question from previous discussions. Who is the Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change? The current one, of course. Your options are Anurag Thakur, Jairam Ramesh, Bhupender Yadav or Archana Chitnis. If you know the answer, you can put it down in the comment section below. This is the descriptive question for the day. How can judiciary improve the process of lawmaking? Discuss. So let's discuss the first article of the day, which talks about judicial role in improving lawmaking. So recently, the Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramanna, highlighted the problem of deterioration in the quality of deliberation in Parliament over time. Now, basically, as we know, that judiciary works on the laws, and for laws, we have to look forward to the Parliament. Now, in this situation, it is very much important that the Parliament, as a lawmaking body, works very efficiently. And in the recent times, when we have seen that the laws are being passed within within an hour, two or three more laws are passed. So this clearly gives us an idea that proper debate and discussion, the proper deliberation has not taken place in the Parliament regarding these laws. Due to which what happens is that in the coming times, in the coming futures, there are some of the other kinds of flaws that are there in the laws, due to which the judiciary and ultimately the entire justice system is hampered in the long run. So that is why this article discusses as to how the judiciary can improve the lawmaking process. So by enforcing the text and spirit of the constitutional provisions governing the legislative procedures, the first thing that it says that we should be actually, be able to enforce the text and the spirit of the constitutional provisions. So when we talk about the letter and spirit, so we should be able to achieve the actual goal of the letter of the law. So the issue of voice votes can be solved through the constitutional interpretation as well. And it says the bills are certified as money bills to bypass Rajya Sabha. Now this problem we have seen many times, guys, that what happens is, as we know, that money bills can only and only be introduced in Lok Sabha, and they have to be passed by the Lok Sabha only. So what happens is that if at all the government realizes that it would not be able to enjoy its majority in the Rajya Sabha, or that Rajya Sabha would not allow that particular bill to get passed, so what they do is that they cover basically that bill in the name of money bill, though the money bill, it has to be a money bill, but still they use these kinds of tactics, and they name them a money bill so that the procedure in Rajya Sabha can be bypassed. A very good example of this was the Aadhaar case, wherein the Supreme Court recognized that its power to check whether such procedural provisions had been complied with or not. And in this case also, it was actually passed as a money bill, because, it is very much surprising to know that there are a lot of other tenets also which were attached to the Aadhaar case, but still the Aadhaar bill was passed in the name of a money bill. Now, the second thing has been talked about, that making deliberation a factor in evaluating the constitutionality of the validity of laws. Now, as we know, when we talk about any law being constitutional or not, we talk about the judicial review under Article 13 of the Indian Constitution. So not only just the elements that are provided in the law, but also how much has that particular law been debated upon, how much has it been discussed upon while it was being passed, should also become an important factor of deciding its constitutionality. So in that order, the parliament will have to adhere to at least some time period, or maybe some kind of proper procedure, so that it is made sure that proper deliberation or discussion was made on a particular law. See, here it is very, very important to understand that yes, of course, quick passing of laws is important, as it saves us a lot of problems in the coming times. Like, for example, the personal data protection bill is still a bill, right? The Panchayati Raj bill, it remained a bill for years and years. So in these situations, definitely we look forward to quick passing of the bill. But if this is happening way too quickly, so of course, as we know, that excess of everything is bad. So, just in haste, we are so much into haste that we're not even discussing about the bill. Now, that definitely defeats the entire purpose of even having a law. So, call on the state to provide justifications explaining why the law is reasonable and therefore valid. And also, it can also examine, as in the courts can also examine, whether and to what extent the legislature deliberated or discussed the reasonableness of a particular measure. So the Supreme Court can also make deliberation a factor in choosing whether to employ the doctrine of presumption of constitutionality or not, that one particular law would be presumed to be constitutional if at all it is deliberated and discussed upon properly in the parliament, that is the lawmaking body of the constitution. So that is why this is how the judiciary can play, a judicial positive intervention of the judiciary can play an important role in improving the process of lawmaking and ensuring better deliberation. So this article also talks about the way forward. It says that the CGI suggested that the legislature be reformed from within, and it is the ideal solution for remedying the legislative dysfunction without raising concerns of separation of powers. Also, because as we know that of course we follow separation of power under Article 50 of the Indian Constitution as well, and generally also, if at all, greater powers or undeterring powers would be given to judiciary to make sure improving the lawmaking process, then again there would be a confusion, and here we would be in a position to say that there is mixing up of power and we are not following the separation of powers, and that is why we need to strike the right balance to make sure that we are not even missing out on separation of powers thing. So, however, legislative majorities have little incentive to cooperate, and significant public mobilization on the issue would be necessary. So, the Indian judiciary has often demonstrated that it is possible to enrich the democracy by addressing dysfunctions in other institutions, and thus by adopting a swift and systematic approach to reviewing the legislative process, it can help restore faith in the parliament. With this, let's discuss the second article for the day, which talks about nutrition-hygiene link. So the recent report suggests that overcoming malnutrition challenges requires attention to both diet and sanitation. See, of course, when we talk about eating, so eating is equally important as is to maintain the sanitation and hygiene. If you are eating, the best of the foods in the world, but they are not hygienic, you still have a good chance of catching, diseases like, or any ailments like maybe food poisoning, typhoid, etc. So that is why, if at all we are looking forward to make the population healthy, make the population happy, and to do well in the side of nutrition, it is also very much important that we pay attention on the sanitation and the hygiene as well. And that is why the open defecation free projects or these campaigns have been taken with so much of seriousness in the country as well. So let's see some relevant reports in this direction. Nearly 12 lakh children could die in low-income countries in the next 6 months due to a decrease in the routine health services and an increase in the wasting of children, according to the UNICEF report. Nearly 3 lakh would be from India itself, same as the COVID, also according to the same report. So this is actually a very, very huge number, and that is why, because in India we still have a problem of sanitation, hygiene. We still have areas where open defecation is taking place. So that's why it becomes very difficult to maintain the hygiene and sanitation. So according to the National Family Health Survey 5, 1 in 3 children, that is below the age of 5 years, suffer from chronic malnutrition, and that basically is a very, very, very big problem in the long run as well. Also, 37.9% of children under the age of 5 are stunted and 20.8% are wasted. I hope that you understand by now that what is the meaning of stunted and wasted when it comes to the kinds of malnutrition. Do make sure that you are telling us in the comment section below so that we understand it, because we've done it so many times beforehand as well. So please let us know that when we talk about malnutrition, what would be what would be a stunted child and what would be a wasted child. So this is basically higher in other developed countries as well. So the way forward that has been given in this article is says that an integrated approach to nutrition and wash. I hope you understand the wash basically is nutrition, water, sanitation, and hygiene. So at the individual, household, and community level, along with the COVID management, will service to tackle the problem of mal as well as the undernutrition. Now, when we talk about the individual as well as the community level, so like for example, me as an individual, I should make sure that the food that I am intaking is healthy. It has all the important nutrients that I need for the growth and balance of my body. But at the same time, I also need to make sure that I'm cleaning my body. I'm, keeping myself with good sanitation. I am maintaining the hygiene, and not only just my bodily hygiene, but also, the things around me. There should be nothing that is rotting, nothing that is very dirty around me. It should be clean. There should be no flies and mosquitoes, etc. So this would be an individual level thing. Now, this can be simply or very easily extended to a household as well, where the house can be clean, the environment or the atmosphere around the house should be clean. There should be no dumping of garbage near the house or stuff like that. And the same goes for the community level as well, that we should not dump the garbage here and there. We should not throw the garbage all around the street. We should try to keep the roads, the drains, and everything clean, right? So here the nutrition hygiene linkage has also been discussed in a little more detail, that the first instances of the link appeared of this relationship between nutrition and hygiene. It appeared in the Convention on the Rights of Children in 1989, which urges the states to ensure adequate nutritious food and clean drinking water to combat disease and malnutrition. And if you know that these are also one of the sustainable development goals as well, to not only eradicate hunger but also clean water and sanitation, being in the SDG number 2 and 6 respectively. So in 2015, Jean H. Humphrey, he stated that the poor hygiene and sanitation in the developing countries leads to a subclinical condition called the environmental enteropathy, in which which causes nutritional malabsorption. What happens is that even if many times it has been seen that if your environment is not clean, if your your system, your body, you're not sanitized enough, so what happens is that even though you would be taking good food, it will not be able to be absorbed by your body in the best of its form, and that is why this causes environmental enteropathy, which causes a situation of nutritional malabsorption in the body. So according to the WHO report, 50% of all mal and undernutrition can be traced to diarrhea and intestinal worm infections, which are a direct result of poor water, sanitation, and hygiene. And that is why we should make sure that we are not only focusing upon nutrition and hygiene as individual bases or tenets, rather we take them as something that are very, very interrelated and are important for accomplishment of each other. So thank you so much for joining in, and do not forget to listen to the podcast of this discussion, which is available on Spotify, Google, Anchor, as well as Apple Podcast. Also, if you wish to download the PDF of today's slides, or you want to avail other study material, then you can join our Telegram channel. The link to this channel is also available in the description box below, or you can just scan this QR code that you can see on your screens right now. Also, for other crisp and amazing content, do not forget to follow us on our official Instagram channels for Judiciary, CLAT Prep, as well as UGC.net. Also, if you wish to join us for a live discussion today, then do join LawSeco Judiciary Prep at 8 p.m. We have a live discussion along with me, where we'll be discussing the right strategy to crack current affairs for your judicial services exams. Thank you so much.